Dear auditorium, dear friends, dear Isabelle family, I will continue with the beauty, with the sense, and you can imagine how difficult to introduce a well-known, very famous president of the ESTS, but I try to do it from my point of view. I cannot push. Here. I think everything began in Cologne, in Köln, because Isabelle learned in a primary school and a secondary school in the same city, and even the medical, she was a medical student in Köln and finished the university there when she was younger. And after the university, she was a resident in several times. Resident in Berlin, in the Charité, after that the chief resident in general surgery in Freiburg in Switzerland, and resident in trauma in Zurich, and finally she arrived to Zurich to the thoracic field. She was a resident, and after that she spent more time in Toronto, in Paris, and she became the staff of the staff member of the thoracic surgery in Zurich, and from 2020 she is the director of the department. She has a lot of board certification from general surgery, from Canada, from the European boards and the Swiss Board of Thoracic Surgery, and even from the Harvard Business School. And she is a member of 15 very international societies from the States, Germany, Europe, and Switzerland, of course. And she had 14 awards, including the Brompton Prize, the Ginsberg Lecture Awards, and the Tudor Edwards Award as well. And she's a leader. She's leading investigation in 28 projects. You can imagine how much is. In lung cancer cases, in mesothelioma fields, emphysema, lung transplantation, and tissue bank as well. There are several academic degrees, doctoral thesis, of course, habilitation, and the second surgeon in Switzerland who won the Swiss National Science Foundation professor title in Switzerland. It's very, we are very proud of that. And from 2023, she is the professor of the thoracic department. The publication is amazing. The citation is more than 4,000. Impact factor is more than 132. And she had 140 publications and 7 guidelines. But in the ESTS career, it's also amazing. She is involved in the chest wall working group, in the pleural disease, pulmonary artery sarcoma, robotic. She was a board member, a treasurer, president-elect, and right now she is the president. What can be behind this outstanding success? Of course, the willpower, even in cases when she is crying blood, as you can see on the mask. And of course, very nice staff. There are a lot of experts, a lot of surgeons, big names, a good team, as you have seen, a big publication. But the atmosphere is excellent. You can see in a Christmas party or even in the hospital, they are funny, and one of the best atmospheric places that one must be. They have Christmas party. They have another party, after party, frequently, very frequently. But the question is emerging, when are they working at all? Because they are always in the mountain. They are skiing, they are having fun in spring, summer, winter, autumn. And you can imagine how many fights, how many pictures I have. It's only 1% of that, but very frequently they are having fun. Of course, Isabelle has many talks around the world, even in Brazil, even in the middle, a talk in a boat on the Lake Zurich, or under an aircraft in the Zurich airport. And she has a special capability. Sometimes she comments her own presentation in the same time. It's a very unique situation. But what happened when she is not in the clinic? The colleagues is coming to her office, taking selfies, send this selfie to Isabelle that we are here, hi boss. Or, as you can see on the picture right side lower, some kind of research is going on. And she is keeping her fitness. She is playing football, skiing, sometimes she is a sailor. And the people on the right side lower picture, what are they doing? They are not having bus, having sun, bus and anything. They are waiting for Isabelle. Because Isabelle, in every weekend, in summer times, swimming cross and back the Lake Zurich. And just to stay on a study, she has a new project to develop the sun surf. Right now, in this picture, she needs three members of the team to help, but I'm sure in 1-2 weeks, she will develop this excellent new sport quite nicely. Of course, the strongest background is the family, as it was in her childhood and as it is currently. I think the source of the power is a very, very lovely family. Because I am not involved too much in the family, I ask a little help to explain how mother is Isabelle. Arthur, can you help us to tell something? Please come. Arthur is, please come, Arthur, is the son of Isabelle, and can you share?
Yes, I'll share some stuff. Thank you very much.
And don't worry, everybody is on you.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, my name is Arthur. I'm the son of Isabelle, and I just want to say some words that are both my sister and me, because she sadly couldn't make it today due to a very important exam she had. I just wanted to start off by saying how proud we are of our mom, and that we wanted to congratulate her of this amazing achievement of becoming president of ESTS. We just wanted to say thank you for always being there for us, although you were fully engaged with your work. You were always ready to help us, support us, and advise us in difficult times. And every time we needed help, we knew you would be there. Thank you, Mom, and good luck. Thank you for listening, and I wish everyone a successful conference day.
Yeah. Great. Great. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Arthur. That was the warmest words here, and I think nobody could explain Isabelle's status in the family. So, coming back, she is very popular and very famous among the women thoracic surgeons. You can see in many places they are around her friends, and I have to explain one of my experience in the Brazilian women thoracic surgical session. It was a difficult situation for me, but I heard the truth. The speaker expressed her opinion about the two chair lady who is sitting there. And it was very nice to hear that Valérie Rouch and Isabelle Opitz are the living legend of the thoracic surgery. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our president, Isabelle Opitz, a living legend on the stage. Please, Isabelle.
So, Joseph, thank you. I mean, I was a little bit warned, and I need the remote, by my colleagues, that I will need at least 60 seconds to be ready for my speech. I'm very touched. Arthur, that was amazing. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, dear family, today I have the honor to conclude a journey of privilege and inspiring insights, serving as the 31st presidents of our wonderful society. I stand before you to ignite a spark of curiosity and address the scientist within you. My aim is to make you passionate and have a call for you to consider, respectively, support the path of the surgeon scientist. Let me invite you to assume a similar mindset to the one that we all have in the operating theater. Before we cut, we do need to look precisely and sometimes even several times. The same holds true for the topic of the surgeon scientist. Please take a closer look for today. You may have heard about the surgeon scientist, but let me address the why, the how, and the what, explaining the opportunities arising from the surgeon scientist's career, because this is a topic that is very dear to my heart. So what do these things here all have in common? A symbiotic relationship, where one benefits the other, and together they create an added value. The same holds true for the surgeon scientist, a combination where 1 + 1 equals more than the mathematical 2. Where would we be today without inspiring examples like the surgeons, for example, Joseph Lister, who was a pioneer for antiseptic surgery? And these surgeon scientists even won a Nobel Prize. But we all know it doesn't take a Nobel Prize to make a real difference for every single day in our patient's life. Today, we have many very famous surgeon scientists here in the room. One even came for the first time. And I'm very proud that you are all here. So why does science matter in our everyday practice? I am sure we all share the overarching purpose of our career to perform surgical procedures with a positive outcome for our patients. And research indeed has the goal to make a change in your patient care. Who knows the disease better from the inside than we do? We are in the optimal position to bring up relevant questions from bedside to bench, and the other way around, from the lab into clinical practice. Furthermore, they say, surgeons have the right personality. We know how to get things done. And if surgeons don't stay involved in science, they risk of falling behind the latest advancement in techniques. This could potentially lead to suboptimal patient outcomes And some even caution us by saying who are not interested in research run the risk of assuming the role of pure technicians. We should not consider only science as a career boost, although the statistics speak for themselves with a clear correlation of research experience and academic appointment. Indeed, research should be, or actually is, part of our surgical DNA, because it requires curiosity to address unmet medical needs. And we have the creativity to handle often unexpected situations, and we have a strong commitment to rapidly translate new concepts into human therapies and boldness for implementing them. So are surgeon scientists an indulgence or even a dying breed? These headlines speak a little bit for themselves. The numbers of surgeons involved in research are falling, and this threat should be reversed. So is this actually true? Let's have a closer look at the numbers. These figures here illustrate that although the overall total funding in NIH increased over time, there is a clear and steady decline in funding for surgical research. This is not very reasonable because surgeon scientists have demonstrated increasing productivity, measured here by impactful publications. This can also be demonstrated in our society's journal and the publication activity, where we publish cardiac and thoracic publications. And you can see here with the numbers courteously provided by our editor that over the past 5 years, the percentage of thoracic publication has increased. So what is the reason for this leaky pipeline we are visualizing? First of all, and I think this is the reason number one, the increasing clinical demands. Last but not least, because cardiothoracic surgery is a major source of hospital income. Furthermore, the changes in our field and the acquisition of new skills acquire a lot of time, and the learning curves are very, very time-consuming. This lengthy training, and you can see it here, it's actually the longest training that we can have in all specialties, and the time between degree and first full-time job, surgery is the last. Another important factor eating up our time is the increasing administrative requirements for documentation and for compliance. An evolution which is unfortunately mainly driven by administrative governance who are not involved in patient care. And another obstacle is the difficulty in the funding environment. It has already been a challenge here in 2004, and we all agree it hasn't really improved. So what can we do, and how and when can we incorporate research into our practice? The earliest time point would be a surgeon scientist training during medical school in MD, PhD programs. The completion of these programs was demonstrated to be associated with an academic appointment. But unfortunately, only a few absolvents enter a surgical training, and as you can see, only a minority ends up in cardiothoracic training. So after graduation, is the door closed? Of course not. You can also start during residency. Let's have a look how you can get started. If your long-term goal is to enter a scientific career, look for a program that has a clear and successful track record in training and in research, reflected in the output, but also in the available resources. And then, most importantly, obtain a proper and broad training with a primary goal of clinical excellence. You have to be a good surgeon, recognized by your colleagues and also other scientists to be a good partner in all respects. Focus early, but not too early, and herewith you can become and find a niche which is associated with an interesting research question eventually, and you can become the expert or the to-go-to person for this specific niche. After if you identified a research question, you should obtain the necessary skills, and then, very important step, acquire the funding for protected research time, if possible, a team and consumables. There are several resources that you can use: intramural funding, extramural funding from several agencies, also philanthropic donations, which are unfortunately not that much the practice in Europe in comparison to our colleagues in the US. And then there are also valuable industry support opportunities. Your strategy and application should be stress the relevance of the clinical practice, the patient data, and you can become eventually a very interesting partner. There are several challenges to secure funding. It's highly competitive. The salary support is not equivalent to the one we get in the hospital, and the time commitment is not realistic in surgical training. And then last but not least, the reviewer pool is mostly not consisting of clinicians and therefore highly biased. All these challenges and tasks add up to the resident's dilemma, who only wants to become a good surgeon, and this in a healthcare environment with working hour restrictions and in a lifespan where most of other people are ready to start a family. So how can we balance this work-life? And we were yesterday evening asked in the Women in General Thoracic Surgery Network event how we all do this. So I think it's very important to take care of yourself. You should have a fulfilling life out of surgery. None of this is rocket science, and whatever takes your fancy, learn to cut some routine work, prioritize, exercise, whatever is good for you. Most importantly, take care of yourself. Your Brazilian's bank account is not endless, and neither is your time. Here are some best practices how to manage your time more effectively. It is a positive way also for your mental sanity. And there is more. How you can integrate research into your training, and this addresses here to all senior surgeons in the room. It is our own responsibility to invest in our next generation of thoracic surgeons, and it's needed. The numbers suggest that we need to actively grow our future workforce. So what can we do? We can try to attract already medical students to our specialty by participating in teaching in the medical school curriculum, mentoring medical students quite early, and for example, also make them familiar to practices that we are doing every day. Already at the time of medical school, we offer a simulation course to our medical students in Zurich, and they really like it. Supporting residents in training for performing research needs real commitment from all senior surgeons, department chairs, division chiefs, all of you. Only awareness is not enough. To start with, it is really crucial to create a culture that acknowledges the value of academic productivity. And you have to help your residents to identify their interests and strengths and maybe actively establish a structure of research experience. But the investment in surgical training is of equal importance. For example, by establishing a dedicated team that is only in charge and focusing on training. And this should be your most experienced surgeons that train your residents. What can we do more concretely? We have to juggle the numbers for the formal training, reduce rather the number of trainees than having too many, and then establish collaborations for training. Or, if you don't have the numbers, incentivize career moves for fellowships. What is the role of the university in all this? First of all, recruitment of the right people with the right skill set to the right job. That would already help a lot. We have to remind also the university to engage in the education of physician scientists. There are plenty of opportunities what can be done. So, for example, tuition waivers for to decrease the financial burden for the trainees in education, and also establish platforms for mentorship and for collaborations. What is the role of scientific societies in the education of surgeon scientists? On a positive note, and quite frankly speaking, I'm proud to be part of this society that already proactively supports research and training like many other societies. Just to mention a few examples, like the project of the EBTS examination, it's a project to harmonize the training in Europe, which is definitely needed because if you look at the numbers, the ranges of length of training and also the numbers are very, very wide. In none of the countries, and I spoke to many colleagues, research is acknowledged as part of the training. In Switzerland, our board of the National Committee accepts 1 year of research training as a full training. But also at the conferences, you will find research. The biology club here of ESTS and also in AATS is a biology club. The idea was born by Gaetano Rocco, and together with Tommy D'Amico in 2011, they started a terrific program, which I was very happy to join afterwards, and then establish a biology club with a dedicated aim that research has to come more into our society. Gaetano and me established a fellowship program where since 2014, every year, a fellow can experience research experience abroad. And today, with Brandon Stiles, Lawrence Kurlemans, and Olivia Lauk, the biology club still is living, and there are opportunities to apply for the fellowships. Please do it. Also, other societies have many opportunities for research fellowships. And then the role of the society is much more another one. You meet their people with the same problems and the same minds, and you can exchange ideas, you can talk to them, you can find solutions only by networking outside the conference room. And sometimes you even find friends. You meet great minds that really show you a path you haven't even considered, like the treasurer. I never thought about that. And I had, with the support of Kostas, really a mind-blowing experience in this role of the society. So now, after the why and the how, what can we do in science? There are so many approaches to science, from basic research to clinical research. Pure bench science research is uncommon for surgeons and also a little bit difficult to handle. But you can do research by proxy and collaborate with an experienced lab. You can develop cross-disciplinary collaborations, and surgeons are always very much wanted in animal experience because they have the right skill sets for this. And with this, you might be even able to develop something from bench to bedside. And luckily today, the timeline is much shorter. And then, there has never been such exciting times to pursue research in academic medicine or in academic thoracic surgery. We have so many new drugs being approved in immunotherapy and hot off press. 2 days ago, pembrolizumab, and actually, yesterday night, osimertinib adarotile, long-term survival. These are really exciting moments for all of us. And there are numerous opportunities for surgeons why we have to be involved here. Who knows better than we, being in the operating theater and treating these patients, how the patient responds and what are the aspects of safety and feasibility? Another interesting approach for immunotherapy is we have to solve the problem to select the right patients for immunotherapy. And the discovery of specific biomarkers is very important. We have very fancy new techniques like multiplex immunofluorescence and other spatiotemporal analysis that can help us to maybe better stratify patients into the right treatment. And also, we have so many new and interesting tools to maybe predict minimal residual disease, not only from the tumor microenvironment, but also from the blood, and maybe extend the therapy after surgery. But academia does not necessarily always and ever mean pure bench science. There is the opportunity of translational research, and setting up and contributing to a tumor and blood bank is very easy and straightforward to us, because you all know the famous word of tissue is the issue. And clinical research opportunities means also participating or conducting clinical trials. If you don't want to do it on your own, you can join cooperative groups or participate in multi-center trials and partner up with your colleagues from oncology or radio-oncology. And then there are really pure surgical trials, and this is very important. Here you can either design a trial or enroll patients in this trial and help in the analysis and evaluation and readout of these trials. But what is also very important, and where we need to support all of us, are the investigator-initiated trials without any further support. And I'm very excited of this particular trial because it will give us all much more time, because transplant will be a day business then. Conducting trials can be supported by the societies. At ESTS, we have a clinical trial platform that can help you in designing and executing a trial. Another opportunity to work together with a scientific society. But clinical research has many faces. It's also possible to just participate in a local, national, or international database, or simply the maintenance of a database with your own patients and procedure in order to analyze the outcome, quality, and safety of your own program and answer the questions, but also about education. Let me give you an example of my own practice. The Swiss Chronic Thrombotic Embolic Pulmonary Hypertension Program. This is a devastating disease, very rare, but the mortality is extremely high. And the only way to cure is surgery with pulmonary endarterectomy. It's a very tough surgery in deep hypothermic arrest, and it's done on cardiopulmonary bypass. And until 2015, no Swiss patient had access in a center unless a surgeon from outside the country came to Switzerland. The patients had to travel to France or to Germany to get this surgery. And only a few of them were ready to do this. So this was the niche. To obtain the training, I went to Toronto, to Paris, and also to Germany. And these fellowship trainings, you don't only learn surgery there, you find friends for life. Mark Dipperow, who's not here today, unfortunately, he would have loved to come but cannot, is one of these friends, and I'm talking practically every day to him. And I don't know what happened to my headlight on this picture. And then on my return, I built up a multidisciplinary team of pulmonary hypertension experts, pulmonologists, anesthesiologists, intensive care, and also imaging. And we involved the whole country of Switzerland by kicking off a Livestream national CTEF board where all the centers could connect and present the patients and ask if the patient was a candidate for surgery. And from day one, we built this special database about our CTEF patients, and in parallel also built up a biobank. And these are the results of our patients since 2015. And we have an overall mortality of 2.7%, which compares to high-volume international centers. and also the long-term outcome of our program is equivalent to any other international high-volume centers. And this is reflected also in the numbers of the Swiss Pulmonary Hypertension Registry. Not only that, as expected, survival increases over the several time periods, it is visible that this is even more important for the patients with CTEPH. Maybe we have done a small contribution to this. By analyzing our data, we found out that eventually we didn't have the right priming solution for our patients in cardiopulmonary bypass, so we started changing things. And now we have found out that by changing this priming solution, it's not only the balance of the cardiopulmonary bypass, no, it's a patient-relevant factor that we could change the length of stay. And now we have also started a translational research project to further analyze the reason for this devastating disease. Allow me to say and repeat what I said at the outset. My aim today is to ignite a spark of curiosity, and beyond creating awareness, I would like to create renewed commitment to the importance of the surgeon-scientist. And if I've been able to convince only one more surgeon here in the room, I will be very happy. And in closing, let's look 10 to 15 years later into the future. This might be the solution. Parker, they, standing as the last remaining human in an OR, surrounded only by robots and AI. If Parker could look in the past and say, why should you not be involved in this evolution? You want to be part of and helping to design our future. My journey would not be complete without a heartfelt thank you to all of you for your trust in me to give me this prestigious position of the president of our society. I truly cherished and was enriched by every moment of this year. My sincerest thank you goes here in particular to my colleagues from the board who were great partners in many, many projects over the past years, not actually only the last year. And a particular thank you to Sue, who is always so helpful in everything. And of course, this journey would not have been possible without my amazing team in Zurich. I am very fortunate to have such talented and dedicated colleagues in the clinics, but also in the research team. It's really a Superman team. This is my Christmas present. And in particular, thanks goes to my senior surgeons and my wingmans, Claudio and Didier, who are really always supporting me in everything. And of course, to Chloe. She's my partner since many years in this journey, and I thank you really, really very much for everything. And last, but certainly not least, my family. With my husband, Robin, supporting me actually over 30 years now in this journey, and until today, together with my brother and sister, and my son, Arthur, and Philippa, who unfortunately cannot make it today because of her exams. Arthur and Philippa, you are the light of my life, and you truly make me believe every day that I am the best mom in the world, which is the best achievement I think I can have in life. Thank you for everything. Thank you.